So, Joe, this is going to be your favorite topic. I can already tell. We've had many discussions in the pod about the Baltimore Ravens. And now they've gotten coronavirus. The game's been pushed back to Tuesday. Fantasy-wise, it's kind of concerning for me, but Joe, this brings us to an important point. The Steelers were supposed to play this game on Thanksgiving, and it gets pushed back. And already Juju and Claypool and everyone and Ebron are tweeting about how upset they are and frustrated. I mean, they practiced for a game on Thursday. It's supposed to be a primetime game. They've already had their bye week changed earlier in the year. And now, I mean, you got to figure, right? They'd be pretty upset about having to alter their practice schedule entirely again to play a game on Tuesday. And if the Ravens get more positives, who knows if that game takes place. So, Joe, my question for you in this case, do you think the likes of Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, Eric Ebron actually have a right to be mad? Do you think this unfairly disadvantages Pittsburgh and all the postponements? Or do you think that this is a situation where it's like, this is the COVID response. You can't play with guys positive. I guess I'm curious. Do you think that postponing is the right response, or do you think that maybe the Ravens should have to forfeit because of this?
I definitely think the Steelers have a right to be mad. This is the second postponement they've had to face, and honestly, it messes up your schedule. Like you expect to play on Thursday, so you're gonna practice to play on Thursday, and then you just hear that you're going to be playing on Sunday. Now, I mean, you would expect to think that's good news, but you're already, prepared for Thursday. And I mean, I obviously don't have sources in the NFL that would tell me this, but I do know how a football team is run through just high school and college. You expect to play on one day and you get pushed back. It's going to screw up what you've been preparing for. One day later, I mean, you will see it as an opportunity to get better, but you're ready. And I mean, it does also present an advantage for the other team. Because you're ready now, and then they get COVID and get the game pushed back to, what is it, Tuesday now?
Yeah, I mean, it's Tuesday at 8.
I mean, they're getting that time too, and that would piss you off too.
Also, an underrated factor of all this, Joe, is right. It's a 5-day postponement. I mean, there's time for guys who are contact traced to get off the COVID list and play if you're Baltimore. I agree.
If you're on the COVID list, you're on the COVID list for 3 weeks.
No, I don't mean getting diagnosed with COVID. Guys get put on the COVID list and then get taken back off and play that week. It's if they're contact traced, they're not missing 3 weeks of play if they don't have it. Joey Sly was on it for the Panthers. They've had Adam Thielen was on it, and they thought for the longest time he could potentially play this week. Obviously, that's not happening, is what it looks like. But I mean, this gives the Ravens time for guys who were potentially contact traced to test negative to play in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that is only 4 people who are on the list due to contact tracing. Lamar Jackson is not going to be able to play.
Yeah, no, he has coronavirus. That's a fact.
Yeah. I mean, it's just even then, the Steelers, every game, because I'm thinking of the future now, every game is a game to get better. That's what every game means. You lose and you win, but what you take from each game makes you better in the long run. And hopefully every NFL team knows that. I don't know if the Jets do.
No, the Jets just get worse.
Yeah. But the Steelers have been facing so much backlash over it's an easy schedule, blah, blah, blah. It's not true, 11-0. And I've been saying it too. I'm not going to lie.
We've had our conversations about
that. This is one of the games that they need to prove themselves. And honestly, this game might be forfeited.
Yeah.
If this game doesn't get played on Tuesday, there's no postponing it. It's done.
You got to give the Steelers the win.
Because 1 week after the Steelers played the Browns on the last week, on January 3rd, 1 week after that is the wild card round. That's it. So this game might go into the book as a forfeit, and Twitter is going to eat the Steelers alive for it.
Yeah.
They're going to go 12-0, and hell yeah, they're going to have an easy win. It's a forfeit. That's not fair to them. They need.
I think personally, I think they have an easy win regardless because Lamar Jackson isn't playing.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I do, it would be RG3 starting, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, look, as much as I want to believe RG3 is going to turn back the clock to 2012, I just don't.
No, Trace McSorley would be great.
He's on the COVID list. Yeah, I know. The GOAT is on the COVID list. Yeah, Joe, I think the Steelers, it's a tricky situation, right? Because you're right. When you prepare for a week, you expect to plan a day, and it sets you back. It also gives the other team an unfair advantage to prepare and potentially get some of those 4 guys who might be important on the list to play. Now, granted, I also recognize the concerns of safety, and you have to figure that out. But at a certain extent, there needs to be some sort of fine or incentive to the Ravens organization for completely botching this. I mean, it was a staffer and they disciplined him, but the whole team had an outbreak because of it. And I know that practice is inevitably a hub of transmission, but maybe if there's more effective mask wearing in the locker room or something like that, guys aren't spreading this virus as easily. I think the biggest thing for me is, yes, the Steelers have a right to be mad. You talked about the Twitter factor. Everyone's going to eat them alive, say the 11-0 isn't real. You talk about the fact that these guys literally prepared all week, and now they have to get set back and plan a Tuesday, and then their next week game maybe gets messed up. They don't have as long a week to prepare for the next opponent. But also, as I said, right, you need to consider, like, there is an outbreak. The NFL wants to play these games as much as they possibly can, especially after just completely not playing the Steelers game against Tennessee until later in the year. I think it's a difficult situation just because you have to balance the concerns of safety and making sure teams are on a level playing field.
Yeah. I got a quick question. It's week 12, isn't it?
Yeah, Steelers had a bye week 4.
Right. So yeah, 11-0. You also got to consider this was postponed on Wednesday.
Yeah.
The Ravens were already there, like in Pittsburgh, most likely, or were about to leave at least.
Yeah, I think it was about to travel.
Yeah, you got a right to be pissed. I mean, it's just horrible management on the Ravens' part, and I hate to see teams win by forfeit, but I mean that's gonna probably be the case if the Ravens don't get their shit together in the next 2 days.
I think the game will be played. I was reading an article that said basically by Tuesday, as long as there's no additional transmission, there will be no potential for spread. Like, they'll be outside the window of spread, and you'll know that every guy there is negative. I think it'll be played, but yeah, I agree. If they can't play Tuesday, it has to be a forfeit. Yeah.